Alright, yo, what's up, YouTube Nation? This is your boy Alex, and today's video discussion is going to be part 6 of Sex Game Rules of Being the Man. Now, you're probably asking, sorry, I had some lunch. You're probably asking, what could I possibly talk about in part 6 after 5 videos in the series? Well, there's always something to talk about in a series. So in episode 6 and video 6, we're going to talk about stereotypes that men get hit with, because I did say in my other video what happens when a woman stereotype you when it comes to you using your intelligence, and what happens if you're not the man. The last video, it was the man versus the wannabe. Now, let's talk about something in this video that a lot of men are having a hard time understanding. And I know what it is, so I'm gonna first gotta get some stuff off my chest. There's this individual whose real name I can't use on YouTube because I don't have his permission, but he tried to accuse me of not understanding where he comes from because he has a learning disability and he thinks that I don't have an idea of how hard he's had life, which I do know how hard he has it. Trust me, I do, because I've had people attack me for being antisocial and having a learning disability and having a problem and things of those nature and things of that. But the first thing I'm going to talk about before I get to it is, now listen up here, Spider-Man fan that's obsessed with Spider-Man. Don't ever judge a book by its cover, and don't ever put my name in your mouth unless you got all the facts and information on what's going on. Because he does have a YouTube account, and he does watch other people's videos, and he likes to judge off of other people's videos without understanding the reasoning and the explanation behind those videos, good and bad. Now, with no further ado, let's get to the video. Now, a lot of you, not you guys, but your friends or whoever you may hang out with at school or at work, a lot of them have a hard time accepting the fact that when they get stereotyped, particularly in the black community, that some people ask themselves, what is wrong with being intelligent? What's wrong with being a highly intellectual black man that likes to read, that likes science, that likes math, and likes to talk proper English? What is wrong with that in the black community? See, most black women that we find physically, sexually attractive, y'all brothers know what I'm talking about. Y'all live in Compton, South Central. You know, you live in Inglewood, aka Bloodwood, that somebody always gets shot. You ask yourself, why are the black women don't want to date me? Because I'm a lame, you know, I'm a computer geek, I'm a bookworm. And there's always that she likes the thugs and the criminals, but you're boring and you're a lame. See, what's happened is, over the decades, over the 3 to 4 decades, a lot of us have been lied to. When you actually think about it, when you actually really sit here and you actually think about it, people, we've actually been lied to for a long time. They've lied to you, they've lied to me, and we get stereotypes. So let's take the first one that women use against us. Social skills. I said I was going to talk about it in a future video, and ta-da, it's in this video. Now, don't feel bad if you're not a social butterfly. There's a lot of people that are not very good when it comes to social skills. A lot of us, including myself, struggle to have conversation. A lot of times it's because we're not used to the environment. We're not used to the fact that it's an animalistic environment. We've never had to deal with such challenges such as this before. I'll give you an example. You find a woman physically, sexually attractive. Doesn't matter if it's a black woman, a white woman, a Latino woman, or an Asian woman, and she does a lot of smoking, a lot of drinking, and a lot of drugs. You might feel uncomfortable with a woman that does that. But because she has big breasts and a big butt and a nice cute face, your package gets happy and excited. But you can't help yourself because how could a woman so sexy and hot want to smoke and drink and do drugs and want to be buck wild? She want to be out there, right? That's the first thing that we have. Now, a lot of men are afraid to open their mouth and tell the girl, well, I don't like women that smoke or drink or do drugs. Or I don't like a woman that's just a freak and she's just so out there. And you see, the problem that I've noticed with a lot of guys that are nerds, that are lames, that are geeks, is that you got to be careful going after super hot, attractive women who may not like you or respect you back in return. Now, here's something that's always been an argument and it's always been a problem here on YouTube. The vast majority of men, black, white, Latino, Asian, you keep trying this thing where you want to date super hot, attractive women, but women don't want to hear about Dragon Ball Z. Trust me, I love Dragon Ball Z. I like Goku and Vegeta because they are some badasses. But imagine me going to lunch or to dinner with one of the girls at my job that I like. And I spend the whole conversation talking about how Goku goes to all the Super Saiyan transformations. At some point, the woman's gonna come to the conclusion there's something wrong with me if all I can talk about for lunch or dinner is Dragon Ball Z. You got guys that love Star Wars. They love Star Trek. They love Harry Potter. But you can't take a woman out to lunch and dinner and talk her to death about Star Wars, Star Trek, and Harry Potter. Now you might say, what's wrong with that? The problem what's wrong with that is you're not taking in consideration that the woman does not find that sexually attractive. That doesn't appeal to her. Just like her smoking and drinking and doing drugs doesn't appeal to us, it doesn't appeal to her. And you see, a lot of times, you're going after the wrong kind of woman. And you don't know the signs to messing with the wrong kind of woman. So then you make the mistake once, then you make it 2 times, 3 times, 4 times, 5 times. Before you know it, you made the same mistake 10 times. Every single time. Then there comes the stereotypes. And usually this happens a lot in the black and Latino culture. Most women think there's something wrong if you're so super highly educated. I'm about to tell you guys what the real problem behind that is. It actually has something to do with the fact that you're intimidating to a woman. Think about it. If you know too much about anything, well, then the woman feels like she has nothing to offer you. There's nothing for her to do to make you happy or to impress you. And scientists have confirmed that this is something that's been going on for the past 3 to 4 decades. Now, when guys brag about how intelligent they are, how smart they are, how successful they are in college, in the real world, women get tired of hearing it. Who's another group that we know that just loves to tell everybody about their accomplishments? Women, right? Right, fellas? You get a lot of women who keep talking about, I got 5 college degrees. I got 6, 7, 8 college degrees. And guess what? We don't find that physically, sexually attractive when a woman's got 2 jobs and 5 college degrees. We don't find that appealing at all. Well, a woman is saying the same exact thing. You know your computers, you know cars, you know trucks, you know math and science, you know how the stars and the moon and the sun align in the galaxy. No woman wants to hear about that for lunch and dinner. Then you complain she don't like me. She think I'm too boring. She thinks I'm lame. Now, That's just one part of the problem. Now, I was arguing with my boy Dr. Zachary, aka Zach Deloney, here on YouTube, and we were going back and forth in an argument about some men may not be destined to become masculine alpha males, aka the man. And I respectively disagree with that. And I'll tell you why I respectively disagree with it. Because there's not one way to become the man. There's actually 7 different ways of becoming the man. In each category, there is a job title that you could get to make yourself become the man. Some guys who become entrepreneurs. That means a person that does not work a 9 to 5. That is a person that has their own company, their own business, and they work for themselves. And they might make a nice, anywhere between maybe $5,000 to maybe $10,000 cash. They have their own company on a website, and they basically work for private businesses. You know, freelance is what they call it. And they don't work a 9 to 5. They're freelance. You got to pay them to do work for them. That's one way you could be the man. The second way you can be the man, which everyone tries to do, but it's the hardest one to pull off. That is to become rich and famous. So that's 2. Number 3 is what I said in the last video. So that's 3. Number 4 would probably be become a manager or a supervisor and do it from that standpoint. Then of course there's playing sports, so that's number 6. Number 7 is creating and building something. It's something that O'Shea Duke Jackson talks about a lot on YouTube. If you just build and create something, you already become the man. So now that I explained that, let's get to the problem with social skills. See, what society doesn't want you to find out or learn about this is that since the beginning of time, in order for one person to achieve greatness, it requires a lot of work, a lot of practice, and the one thing that they don't want you to do, it requires a lot of time to be alone. See, society has this ass backwards, illogic way, ignorant ass way of thinking, ass backwards, stupid ass mentality way of thinking. And what I mean when I say that, what I'm saying is if you go back in history and ask yourself this one question: how did some of the greatest minds of the world get famous in the first place? It didn't happen overnight, and it didn't happen with them not doing any work. It happened by the way that I said it happened. It happened required by being by themselves. Benjamin Franklin, right? You take out a $20 bill of Benjamin Franklin all the time. Now, this guy's not physically sexually attractive, so you're probably saying to yourself, how the hell he gets on a $20 bill? He never ran for president of the United States of America, right? So you're asking, how you get on a $20 bill? He did something that most people never thought of. He asked himself, how can we have light? Think about it. Imagine 2018 right now, and we don't have no lights. That means you would crash into the gas station. You would slam into other cars on the road because there's no lights on the road. There's no lights at the gas station. There's no lights outside your house. You got to use candles. Imagine you taking a candle inside your car because it's dark everywhere. Yeah, that don't make sense, right? Yeah. Benjamin Franklin had to come up with an idea that was going to change the whole world. If it weren't for him going outside on the middle of a thunderstorm and conducting electricity science experiments, to this very day, we would be without electricity. It is because of him we have cable. It is because of Benjamin Franklin we have the electric cars, the electric batteries that power up the electric car. It is because of him we have cable, we have radio, we have television, we have film. It is because of him that him doing that gave birth to technology, if you think about it. And he was fat, he was out of shape, he was ugly, he wasn't exactly a handsome, good looking man. Oh, and he was very antisocial. But he became famous. They've made movies and television shows about Benjamin Franklin. He ended up on a $20 bill. You don't get to show up on a $20 bill by accident, people. You get there by making sacrifices and not having so much of a social life. That's how he got on there. Now, once he achieved something great, he finally was able to talk sociable. Of course, all his companions were all prostitutes and strippers, so yeah, you see what I mean. Who's another person that became famous? Let's see. There is Albert Einstein, famous for creating the bomb. Y'all remember World War II, don't you? Yeah, German scientists figure out how to create an atom bomb, the most powerful force in the universe. He actually took the math and the science and figured out how to do that. And let's not forget Isaac Newton. Let's not forget Nostradamus, the man that keeps predicting all of the world's natural disasters and future predictions. And let's not forget Steve Jobs. Where would we be if it weren't for Steve Jobs? What about Mark Zuckerberg, the guy that created Facebook? Where would we be if these individuals did not come along and create these great inventions that we all use today? Where would we be? We would still be back in the caveman ages. We would be back, in the stone ages if it wasn't for these great minds that came into this world and gave us the computer, the cell phone, electricity. If it wasn't for them, we would not have the devices that we have today. The little cell phone that I'm recording from off of, yeah. If it weren't for Steve Jobs, if it weren't for Apple, if it weren't for Bill Gates, where would we be today? All those individuals that I just named off were all antisocial. They all had problems talking to beautiful, attractive women at nightclubs and at bars in that time period. They all got rejected. Fake phone numbers, fake email addresses, got told they wasn't physically, sexually attractive. You don't play basketball and football. You don't lift weights. You're not a criminal. They got told the same thing that me and you got told. But did you think that for 1 minute, did you ever think for 1 second, people, that stopped them and discouraged them from becoming famous? And when they became famous, people would turn their life story into books, graphic novels, video games, computer games, television, film. All these men gave birth to an idea that changed the whole world. And you see, that's why society has this ass backwards mentality, illogic, ignorant way of thinking. If you go back to World War II, hello, Hitler did not want anyone in Germany to read books. See, they don't want to tell you this. That the reason why some people in the black community look down on you from reading a book and trying to be smart and educate yourself, because it goes back to the days of Hello Hitler. They used to take books and set the books on fire so you could not read to educate yourself. Oh yeah, it's true. It's damn true. And you see, if you look at today, you see something like that taking place. Anytime a black man tries to read, most black people look down on, oh, he trying to read. He think he's smart. He think he better than me. He's a coon. And I'm here to try to remind you men that there's nothing wrong with being a smart, strong, productive, intelligent mind. It's the fact that you intimidate people because you're destined for greatness. People who are antisocial are destined for greatness. And people who have a nice, good social life are deemed failures. That means If you always spend all your time at the nightclub and the bars, ultimately you're going to be a failure because greatness cannot be accomplished by you going to clubs and clubbing all the time. Greatness is achieved by being antisocial. Like the space shuttle. How do you think the space shuttle was created in the first place? It wasn't created by going to no nightclub. It was created by putting a bunch of work and a bunch of time and effort to do what? Be by yourself and figure out how can I make a rocket go into outer space. That guy that created the space shuttle is rich and he's famous and he is banging and taking down supermodels left and right. The guy gets to walk in the middle of the street with supermodels. Yeah, he sacrificed, but what he got back in return for sacrificing. And you see, when people laugh at you and they make fun of you, it's okay. Because when they laugh and they make fun of you, in reality, they're laughing and making fun of themselves. And they don't realize it until it's too little too late. You think I'm lying? Some of your favorite Hollywood celebrities have learning disabilities. How many times you've heard stories about Tom Cruise's dyslexia? He can't read a film script. Yeah, Tom Cruise may not be able to read a film script, but who is rich and famous? Who is an executive producer of all his films? Who is an actor? Tom Cruise. Did you think that stopped Tom Cruise from being the greatest action hero of all times in Hollywood? No, it didn't. They say Whoopi Goldberg can't read. Did that ever stop her from being one of the greatest comedian actresses in Hollywood? No, it didn't. Did it ever stop any of your greatest Hollywood film directors like George Lucas, Steven Spielberg? It didn't stop these men from becoming film directors. It never did. They look into the face of adversity and they told adversity, I'm going to kick your ass and I'm going to be a film director. So when someone makes fun of you because you talk funny or you look funny or you sound funny, here's what you tell these son of a bitch. You tell the son of a bitch, look here, son of a bitch. You got an uncle or an auntie that can't read, that can't write, that can't count money. And watch them shut up. Watch them be silenced. You say you got a grandpa who has trouble going to the restroom and you got to help him go to the restroom. They'll be quiet as a mouse. They got a grandma who talks to herself and they have to keep grandma company because grandma don't have no one to talk to. So when they laugh and they make fun of you, just keep in the back of your mind, some of your favorite Hollywood celebrities have learning disabilities. And it doesn't stop them from becoming rich and famous. It doesn't stop them from becoming film directors, screenwriters, film producers. You look in the music industry, just in hip hop. You know how many rappers in hip hop can't read? 50 Cent. Everyone makes fun of 50 Cent because of the way he talk, right? But 50 Cent has his own company, has his own business. Everyone makes fun of Floyd Mayweather Jr. because he dropped out of school to become a boxer. But Floyd Mayweather can take your girlfriend from you. So when you make fun of Floyd Mayweather Jr., just remember he takes your girlfriend from that person. You make fun of 50 Cent, just remember 50 Cent got more money in the bank account than the average person. A lot of your professional basketball players, a lot of your professional football players have learning disabilities. Yeah, they may have trouble reading and writing and counting money and comprehending instructions, but by the end of the day, who has achieved greatness and who has not? And you see, they don't want you to know about this information. Now, the women who stereotype you, believe it or not, the women who stereotype you do that because they watch too much television, too many Hollywood movies, too much social media, and these women, when they laugh at you and when women say, oh, I don't want to date the awkward guy that's a nerd, that doesn't know how to talk, wait until the woman get 35, 45, or 50. She'll want a man that's smart and intelligent. So when they say women don't like men that are smart and intelligent, they actually do. What it is they wait until they get 35, 45, 50 years old when they're fat, ugly, and out of shape. Then they want a man that's intelligent. That's when women start that. Oh, I like a man that's educated. He's smart. He can read. He can write. He can count his money. That's when women start that. When they're past their sexual V market. But when women are from the age of 18 to 29, they don't want no man that's smart and intelligent because it's intimidating to them. Imagine yourself as the Tyrannosaurus Rex from the movie Jurassic Park. The T-Rex is intimidating. Just think of your intelligence as a Tyrannosaurus Rex. You're intimidating. Think about that for a minute. All those X-Men films that they made in Hollywood, what do you think the moral of the message of those films was? Sometime in history, one person achieves greatness, and every so often, evolution takes a leap forward. And you heard Charles Xavier say, you may not be perfect, this process may be slow, but every now and then, evolution will take one step closer to evolving to its final stage in mankind. We put an astronaut in outer space, right? We put an astronaut on the moon, and they say one step for man, but one big step for mankind, right? Someone had to create the designs of the suit of an astronaut for you to survive in outer space, because you can't breathe oxygen, or there is no oxygen present in outer space. Someone had to create the suit. Someone had to create the space shuttle. Someone had to create light. Someone had to put their life in danger so we can have light inside our house. Someone had to figure out, how do we put electricity into a car? Your washer machine, your dryer. Someone had to figure out, how do we get the washer machine and the dryer to contain electricity? Somebody had to get on top of a roof and install cables to wires to conserve energy from electricity. Someone had to put their life on the line. Somebody had to create a refrigerator to keep your food from spoiling. Again, someone had to sacrifice a lot of time to achieve greatness. So when someone tells you there's no way you can be an alpha male, bullshit. There's 7 different ways to become an alpha male. Okay, some guys might have to go to the gym and be big and strong like a bodybuilder or a weightlifter or a power lifter to be an alpha male. Some men might have to become rich and famous to become an alpha male, aka the man. And some men may have to create and invent things to become the man. There are 7 different ways to do it. I gotta have my own company, my own business. That qualifies as being the man. So if people are laughing and making fun of you because you read comic books, you like computers, and you like video games, and you're into math and science, tell them to go kiss your ass. Because in 15 to 20 years from now, the same person that's laughing and making fun of you right now is going to bring their sorry ass back to your doorstep and say, I need some help with my car. And you the only man that knows how to fix cars. There is power in fixing cars. Or somebody's toilet gets stopped up. There is power in fixing a toilet. The power goes out on the street. And you got to come in there and fix electricity. You got to fix the wires. There is power in that. Somebody's computer goes dead, and you know how to fix computers. There is power in that. And in that power, you become the man. So you may not be a basketball player, a football player, a baseball player. You may not be able to be a bodybuilder, a weightlifter, a power lifter. You may never be a rap artist. You may never be the next Lil Wayne, the next Drake, or the next 50 Cent. You may never be a Hollywood film director or a screenwriter. You may never be a film producer or a music producer. But there is power in fixing cars. There is power in fixing a computer. There is power in fixing and building houses. There is power in having your own business, your own company. There is power in you understanding how math and science works in outer space. There's power in that. And where there's power, there's strength in numbers. So if they laugh and make fun of you, just remember that in 15 to 20 years, they're going to come back to your doorstep and they're going to be begging you for help. Just keep that in mind. So when people be thinking, oh, I'll never be the man, I'll never be the alpha male. No, there are 7 different ways to become the man. Just remember that the people that are laughing and making fun of you, ultimately they're going to become failures. And you may be laughed and teased because you don't fit the norms of what society says you should fit, but by the end of the day, you are going to be destined for greatness. It may take 5 years, it may take 15, 20, yeah, it may take 50 years. But when it's all said and done, you would have achieved something that the other person has never achieved. So this video was part 6 to explain to the guys who keep saying, well, they keep making fun of me. The girls don't like me. Well, look at Mark Zuckerberg. He created Facebook. Now all the girls want Mark Zuckerberg. And I can guarantee you those are the same girls that laughed and made fun of him. So keep that in mind.